Can see. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, so take it on.
Okay. Am I good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's meeting. And thank you so much, Abel, for the invite. I think this is one of the things I enjoy doing most because I'm so happy to be a Gates Cambridge scholar because I felt we have the opportunity to share my experience with people because I've been rejected for this same scholarship before. And now getting the scholarship gives me the opportunity to know what I did wrong when I first applied and what I did better that made me go shortlisted for the scholarship. So I hope you will feel free to ask any question that you are not clear with. Maybe after during the Q&A session. So today I will be talking about what you should note when you want to answer GATE Cambridge essays. So how you can write a convincing and the award-winning GATE Cambridge essay. So let's start. Sorry, I have a bit of cold, so in case I'm doing so that's the reason. So the first thing we need to first know is to first do like a bit of reflection about you that you want to apply. And when I'm talking about reflection, I think what I'm really talking about is you reflecting about your educational background up to date. What are the experiences you have that you are bringing to Cambridge? And what are the skill sets that you have? And the most important question to ask is why Cambridge? Because there are so many scholarship out there. There are so many university in the UK. So there are so many good university. Why do you want to choose Cambridge? And also, when you are coming to Cambridge, what do you want to come and do? So those are some of the questions that you need to first reflect about before even starting the application at all. So when you've reflected on your educational background, your experiences, the skill set that you have, and how they are relevant to your proposed course, and also why you want Cambridge, and also what you want to come and do in Cambridge, then yeah, we can talk about the whole GATE Cambridge itself and the application process. Okay, so my screen doesn't seem to move. Yeah, so now let's talk about GATE Cambridge. Whenever we want to talk about GATE Cambridge, we need to first talk about Cambridge application because you cannot get GATE Cambridge scholarship without first getting the Cambridge application, if that makes sense. So you have to first like get the Cambridge application first. You have to be admitted for a course before they will nominate you for GATE Cambridge funding. So now let's talk about the application process because if your departmental application process will determine whether you will get Cambridge or not. So it's not really about the GATE application now. It's more about the the departmental application itself, because it's the department that will nominate you for the funding. If they don't nominate you, there's no way you will get the funding. And to go about the departmental application, especially if you want to come for a PhD or a master's application, first you must have reached out to a supervisor by now, because the deadline for funding application is like December 5th. So if you've not reached out to any supervisor and you want to do a research course, I think this is the best time. In fact, maybe it's even getting late now to reach out to a supervisor. So, and when you reach out to your supervisor, obviously you are sending a cold email and you are explaining, oh, this is what I want to come and do. And sometimes you might ask that potential supervisor if they are willing to help you review your documents. If they are happy, they will say yes. If they are not happy to help you look at your proposal, they will say maybe you should just submit like that. So try and give it to your friends. Let them do multiple revision of your proposal. I mean, experts in your field, your friend that knows better than you in the field, that can give you positive feedback on how to improve the application. So when you do that, then when you are submitting, because you will be asked to submit your CV, in your CV, please emphasize your skills, because they want to give funding to people that really stand out, that have like this they want to give funding to people that know they will keep the ground running. So you want to emphasize all your skill sets. Please don't keep any. All your skill sets, please emphasize it in your CV, in the application documents that they might ask you to submit, and also on the application portal. So I know that on the application portal, there is a section where they will ask you to add additional information, right? So this place, please talk about how you are the best candidate they should consider for this course that you want to apply to. And also, you have to tell them how you've demonstrated. I know we are Africans, and sometimes even based on our nationality, we've faced so many challenges in the past. And if you're applying to Cambridge, you have to show them that despite the challenges where you are coming from, you did not allow those challenges to limitate you. You've risen above those challenges, and you are really doing well. So you want to show that when they ask you for any other information. So don't just leave it blank. Use that opportunity to talk more about your strengths. And even if it is your weakness, you are free to also talk about it. For instance, you are able to tell them that, oh, because I was maybe you lost the parents, one of your guardian during your undergrad. That was why you did not do well in a particular course. So that when they are reviewing your application, they want to factor all these mitigating factors into your application to consider you. So don't consider something, maybe you aim for a first class and you couldn't meet it because of some financial challenges, maybe industrial action in your country, or maybe because you lost a loved one, or you were even sick at that time. So please write it there that, okay, this was the reason why I failed this particular course, or this was the reason why I couldn't make a first class. So also they will ask you for if you have like if you were working when you were studying. So please don't be too shy to say, yeah, I was doing extra job to keep up my study, like to keep paying the school fees that I need to pay for my studies. All of these things, they factor it in to give people funding and also to give people admission. So please don't hide. Let me use that word. Don't hide. You have to be open about your circumstance and how you've reasoned about any challenges that you might come across. Another thing that you need to know with departmental application is the reference. You want to make sure that your reference is very strong. And what do I mean by a very strong reference? A strong reference is really dependent on the person that is writing the reference for you. So you want to ensure that it is someone who knows you very well, that can write about you, not just giving you a generic reference, right? The person can say, oh, I taught this person this module, these courses, and this was the grade that this student had when I was teaching the students. And another thing that they are looking for in the reference, they want to know the number of years this referee has known you. They want to know how will your referee rank you in the number of students that they have supervised before. For instance, maybe your supervisor has supervised 200 students. They want to know how will the person rank you out of 200 students. Are you in the top 1% of their students? Have you demonstrated some leadership skills, some teamwork ability when you were in their research group, when you were doing your undergraduate project and things like that? So another thing you need to know is you want to make sure that reference stand out, because the bulk of the mark that will be given for your application goes to the reference. So please don't let anybody write generic reference for you. So and also you must submit your reference before the deadline, before the funding deadline. So I'm emphasizing Cambridge application because there is no way you will get Cambridge if you are not highly ranked from the department. So the departments must highly rank you before they will give you the opportunity to even compete for the GATE scholarship. So another thing is your proposal. Now, there are some major key areas where GATE used to fund. There are some key research areas that GATE fund. I think they fund all different types of courses. They can fund mathematics, computer science, chemistry, veterinary medicine, any course, just name it. But there is something they are looking for in those applications. And what are they looking for? How will this proposed course, or how will your proposal solve a particular challenge in the community? So for instance, in Nigeria, we have malaria. And getting malaria vaccine is a big issue. So if you are proposing something around those lines, it will catch their attention, because it's one thing that Bill Gates himself is keen about. So what I did when I was trying to apply for Gates Cambridge is to go to Bill Gates, the foundation page itself, not the Gates Cambridge scholarship website, but to go and follow what Bill Gates has interest about. Like, what is he saying? What does he want to invest his money in doing? And I could see that he's keen about climate change. He's keen about all these diseases that kill children mortality. He's keen about something like maybe all this cancer, obesity, some things like that, some things health related that way. And I just look for which one is very close to my own research area, and how do I want to solve this particular problem. So I'm trying to say this, that you want to research what your funders care about, because they don't want to invest their money in something that will not achieve the purpose of the scholarship. So if they care about sustainability, it's my worth thinking about how will my research proposal be knitted towards sustainability, and how will I pitch that in a convincing manner to get the funding. And also, I need you to know that as you are talking about this proposals are quite flexible. They can be changed when you get into Cambridge. You just need to write something that will get you in first. Then your supervisor himself can say, well, I know that this thing has got you into Cambridge, but now we need to think about what we want to do. I don't know if that makes sense. So don't be too rigid that, oh, I said I want to research obesity. Obesity is the next thing I must do. And if I do not do it in Cambridge, it's like the world is crashing down. No, you might do something related to obesity, but it might not be your direct proposal that you'll be doing, because someone in the group might have done it before, or maybe there are enough knowledge in that research area already. So it's quite flexible. And also, this is just like a buffer point. Like, if you want to come to Cambridge, they ask you about colleges. And these are some of the things you should think about for college. So if you've been following like any other Cambridge mentorship program recently, they would have talked more about these things. So now let's go to Gates Cambridge application itself. If you want to like apply for Gates Cambridge application, sorry?
You proceed, I'm managing that.
Okay, so if you want to apply for Gates Cambridge application itself, I think one thing that you need to do is to be a friend. You should be a friend of this website. Sorry, let me use my, what's it called now? My pointer. Okay, you want to be a friend. You want to be like, this should be like a very open tab on your laptop, on your phone. You should be going in and out of this website almost every time, because you want to understand what Gates is looking for in their students. And if you visited the website, you will see that they have their selection criteria. One is outstanding intellectual ability, reason for choice of course, commitment to improving the life of others, and leadership potential. And everything, these 4 criteria must be answered within this 500 word. So what does that mean for you? This is a scholarship that about 500 people applied to. Only 200 are shortlisted for interview, and only 80 are awarded the scholarship. And even from this 80, 25% goes to the US citizen. It's only the remaining, is it 55% now? I don't know. Yeah. 75% that comes to all other international applicants. So you want to really give it a very good attention whenever you are applying, and you want to make sure you justify all these 4 criteria before they will shortlist you. Now, let's talk about how to answer the outstanding intellectual ability. I think for most GATE students, for most GATE scholars, they are looking for someone with a first class. I'm not saying that there might be other people with a second class, but you must have demonstrated an exceptional academic ability or industrial experience that will cover for the gap of you not having a first class. So they are looking for first class students. Most of the people that get GATE are maybe valedictorian, the best graduating students in their school as an undergraduate and all that. And also, even if you don't have that, if you have a very strong work profile, you are fit to also compete for GATE scholarship. So when you want to write about your outstanding intellectual ability, the truth is you don't have to, in your 500 word, what I did when I was applying, I don't talk more about my intellectual ability or my academic excellence in this 500 word. Why? Because I felt it will just eat up all the 500 words. It will not give me enough room to answer all the remaining questions. So what I did was to just say, okay, from all my educational background, I've demonstrated strong academic excellence, being in first top percent of my class. And I have published these papers before to show that I am very passionate about my research area and I'm willing to contribute to knowledge. For more information about my academic ability, please visit my CV. So I just refer them to my CV so that my CV will do most of the demonstration of my academic and intellectual ability. I don't need to repeat everything I have in my CV in this 500 word. I can always save those word counts to answer the remaining three questions. So the second question is your reason for course of choice. I think the approach to it, for instance, I'm working on sustainability. The approach that I use to it is to magnify the problem, to make it seem as though if you don't fund this problem today, we are all going to die in this world because climate change will kill all of us. That was not the way I wrote this, but I just magnified the problem as though, yeah, this thing is out of hand and we need to find a solution. So they want you to, should I say exaggerate in a way? Yeah, you want to exaggerate the problem and let them see that this problem is critical to the world right now and we need to find solutions to it. So, and you want to show how your proposed course will address this societal problem. So I think I was talking about my work is really on climate change, carbon capture and all that. So I was talking about, okay, yeah, we all know what happened in 2020 where there was this heat wave in the UK and how detrimental that was for the country. So I started with those scenarios. So you want to make it like a narrative essay where everything is needed to get is well knitted together. So you want to make sure that when someone is reading your essay, they will take a pause. If they are eating, they will be like, let me stop eating and give attention to what I'm reading. So you want to make it captivating. You want to magnify the problem, because if I'm reading something and I'm hearing that, okay, maybe all of us, we will soon leave this planet. Maybe all of us will soon die. Maybe I will give an attention because I don't want to die anytime soon. And I'll be like, oh, okay. So what do you want to do to take care of this problem, right? So the person, you want to captivate the person, and that you should do that with your opening line. You want to magnify the problem and say, okay, let's talk about child mortality. We know child mortality, you want to give some statistic, maybe from WHO, maybe from United Nations. You want to say, okay, this is the statistic of the number of children that die from malaria. And even in the next how many years, these are the number of people that are expected to die. Do we want this to continue? And to mitigate this problem, this is what I want to do. And that is why I want to come to Cambridge. So if you open the statement, the GATE statement with the problem, how big the problem is, and how useful your solution will tackle the problem, I think it will get the right attention. And when you are talking about your commitment to improving the life of other people, the first thing I used to tell people is talk about your superpower. Like all of us, we have been endowed with at least one superpower. Your own superpower could be like ability to write. You want to talk about it. Maybe you've written some blog in the past that has been helpful to people, that has provided insight to people. You want to talk about it. Maybe you've written a book, maybe anything, just think about anything. Maybe you can multitask, or maybe even before maybe you are even disabled, but despite the disability, you are still able to do well in your education. It's a superpower. So don't let all of these things that seems negative feel like they don't count. They really do count. So you want to emphasize that, okay, for instance, we know, for instance, if you are a woman, that, okay, being a woman already is a limitation to pursuing your goal. But despite being a woman, you've been able to manage your family, you've been able to manage job, you've been able to manage so many responsibilities together, and you are still doing some great things as a leader. You want to talk about some of those things. And also, if you've mentored people in the past and you see the impact of your mentorship, I'm talking about the leadership potential and the commitment to improving lives of others now. You don't have to do something really big. It might be very small, but you want to communicate the impact. So when you are thinking about Gates Cambridge, be thinking about impact. They are looking for impact. Impact. If it is 10 people that you are able to mentor, what is the impact of that mentorship on these 10 people? Were they able to further their education because you were able to mentor them? You understand? So these are some of the things they are looking for impact, and you want to write it down in numbers. For instance, I said you should exaggerate the problem, but don't exaggerate the figures, because if you do that, it will bounce back on you. For instance, you can say, okay, I have mentored, let's say mentorship, I have mentored like 20 students in the past, and out of the 20 students, 5 were able to make it to higher institution like university. Only 10 were able to make it to maybe a college or a technical school afterwards. But you've been able to help them to achieve their dream. And another thing, when you want to talk about leadership, your leadership potential, you want to think about, I know you will have so many leadership experiences, but which one is relevant? Which one will strike the right chord with the person that is reading your document? For instance, let's say I have led in an NGO organization that provides, let's say, food amenities for the less privileged. Or let's say I have been a senior, I'm the senior private girl of my secondary school. Or let's say I'm even the head private girl of my primary school. It doesn't make sense to be bringing those ones that are not relevant on board. You want to bring something that is very recent and it has a very large impact on people. Those are what you want to write about your leadership skills. And about your commitment to improving the lives of others. You want to talk about how you used to think about people from underrepresented background, how you want to make life better for them, and how you want to change the narratives. So these are some of the things that they are looking for. And you also want to tailor your research proposal to how that will also improve the life of other people. So I said I'm working on sustainability. So what I also said in my document was that imagine we are able to find a material that can capture CO2, a large volume of CO2 effectively. This will not only benefit the world, it will not only benefit my research, it will not only move me towards my career goals, it will also mitigate the impact of climate change on the world at large. So you want to think about the global impact of your research, the global impact of what you have been doing, and the impact of what you are currently doing and what you propose to do if Gates give you the opportunity. So another thing, you want to pitch your impact. Please don't be humble. I said it's not time to be humble. So when you are talking about Gates, you want to blow your trumpet like make them know that I did this and I'm proud of what I've done. You understand? They want to know that you know the impact of what you have done. So if you don't demonstrate that it's impactful, there's no way they will know. So you just want to bring out the impact. And another key thing is your GATE reference. All of these things that I've been talking about must also reflect in your GATE reference. Please, the mistake I made the first time was to use the same person that wrote my academic, one of the two people that wrote my academic reference to also write the GATE reference for me. And what I did was just to ask the person to copy and paste. So it was the same thing. And the truth is, I wasn't awarded the scholarship because I was just too lazy to tell my referee that, okay, this is very different from what you have filled in the first place. You have to answer these 4 questions about me in this new reference that you are writing for GATE. So please let your referee know that when they are writing GATE reference, this is what these 4 things is what they are writing about. And they can write it extensively as they want. It can be like a 2 pages document. It can be like 3. It can be like 4. There is no restriction. So please and please tell them what the scholarship is all about and let them know. So how can you help your referee to write the best reference for you? For instance, it was my undergraduate supervisor that I used to write my own reference. And he doesn't know much of the things that I'm doing because I'm currently in Cambridge when I was applying for my PhD. He doesn't know the leadership role I've volunteered for. He doesn't know my next move about improving the life of other people. So what I did was to draft the recent things that I know about myself that I've been doing since the time I've left my supervisor's lab. So I just said, okay, these are some of the things that I have been doing. I just sent it to him that when he's writing about my academic excellence, when he's writing about all of these things, he will be able to write what I'm doing recently that he doesn't know about. So you want to help your referee to know what he is to write about as well. Please and please, let them write well for you. Don't give it to someone that will just dump a generic reference for you. GATE is not looking for a generic reference. They want to see how the person will rank you. And please let the person write, let them rank you in that reference that they are writing. For instance, my supervisor was talking about like maybe he has supervised like 200 students in the past, and I am in the top 1% of his students. He was talking about how I was leading a project in his lab and how I was supporting master's students even while I was still an undergraduate. So those are some of the things that they want your referee to write about you. There's someone that knows you well, okay? And also, please talk more about how your research will impact the society. Okay, another thing that I just remember now is they want to know that you've researched GATE itself and you know what GATE can offer you. So you want to include in the document that, okay, I've researched GATE. I know you have this package, you have this training for your scholars, and I'm really hoping that becoming part of GATE community will help me to benefit from all these training avenues to develop myself for my professional careers and all that. You want to talk about GATE, that you know GATE and what it can offer you. And not only that, you also want to say, I know that I'm coming into GATE, but this is what I'm also bringing. This is how I want to support GATE community. Maybe I want to also start organizing mentorship program in the GATE community, or I want to, another thing is maybe I want to become part of the editorial team. Maybe I want to become an ESCO executive in the GATE community. I want to do like orientation chairman, orientation chair. You just try and research some of the student council position, and you talk about the one that you think you might want to contribute your own value to. So it's like a two-way thing. I know what you want to offer me, and this is what I want to offer you. But don't forget, you are answering all of these things that I'm saying in 500 words. So you want to be selective, which one should go in and which one should not go in. And please let so many people review your essay. Let them read it. In fact, it's better to send it to GATE scholars themselves because they know what they wrote that got them in. So when they see that your essay is very weak, they will quickly say, okay, I don't think this will get Gates because it's very weak. Why don't you include this? Why don't you pitch this one more? And why don't you remove this? So please try and send it to multiple people to review the essays for you. So please always visit this website to make sure that you understand what you are writing. And when I was writing my documents, what I'm just saying is, if anything I'm writing is not answering any of these 4 questions, I will remove it, because I don't have that luxury of word counts that I can waste. So I make sure that every sentence counts. Every sentences that I write into that GATE application document really makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, if it's just like expanding or just giving examples, if it's not a meaningful example, please remove it so that you will have enough space to talk about what is important and relevant. Okay, so yeah, that's about GATE. So now let's talk about what next. If you are fortunate enough to scale through the application process and the department is considering you for application, they will call you for an interview. Even though, sorry, it's not everybody that calls you. It's not the department that calls you for an interview, but some will call you for interview. And when they call you for interview, you should know that that interview also counts towards your ranking. There is a mark that is allocated to the. Hello.
Yeah, just proceed. I'm managing that.
Okay. Sorry. So there is a mark that is allocated to your departmental interview. So what will they ask you when they call you for interview? They want to know your knowledge about the proposed course. For instance, in my interview, they just asked me, oh, what has been your experience with chemistry? And what have you done in chemistry so far? So I was just talking about my research experience. I was talking about the skill set I was able to gain from those research experiences. And I was able to talk about what I want to do now, because they will ask you what you are now planning to do. And if they ask you, they will ask you, do you know the right tool? Do you know the right software? Maybe you are doing computational courses. Do you know the right software that you'll be using? If you know them, yeah, you have to tell them, oh, I've researched, I know I will use this, but I know this, but I don't know that. And I'm willing to learn what I don't know. You don't have to know everything. Most of us, we come here and we start learning afresh. So another thing is they will ask you a question that will want to trip you off. So if they ask you any question that you don't know, for instance, for my PhD, I just said something that triggered a very question, a question that I couldn't answer. And the man was like, oh, you said this, but this is this. And I was just like, oh, yeah. Well, the truth is, I said, okay, let me think. So they want to see that also you want to try, even if you don't know it. Just say, that's a very good question. Can you give me a few minutes to think about it? And if you think and you think you don't know it, please be honest. Don't try to want to find a way to just say you know it when you don't. So I just said, well, that's a very good question, but I think I will have to read more about it because I don't know the answer to it right now. So after my interview, I felt, oh, have I not failed because I don't know the answer? And the truth is, the professor was also telling me that he doesn't know the answer as well. So it's just to make you know that they don't know it all. So, but what you need is confidence. The truth is they don't know what you are proposing. If it is not your supervisor himself, the person will not have the person will just have an overview idea of what you are talking about. But the nitty-gritty of the work, they wouldn't know. So you have to pitch it that you know what you are doing. So if you are already fidgeting and you are not even confident about what you are saying, they won't believe you. And they won't want to give you that opportunity to come and study here. So you have to put on that confidence cap, like, I know what I'm saying. And if they ask you any question that you don't know, just, oh, it's a good question, but sorry, I don't know. Now, so after that, they rank you. And this one, you won't know anything about it. They just rank their students and they send the best student to GATE, the other best students like, because it has the number of students that each department can nominate for GATE. Maybe it's just 5 or maybe 4. So they have to select maybe 4 people from chemistry to go to GATE, or even maybe let's say 10. If it is 10, then we have to like screen them down again. So the number of people that your department can send is very limited. So please work on your document to make sure that it stands out. They send others to other scholarship as well. Then if you are nominated for GATE, they call you for an interview. So the interview will happen, I think is it in March? Yeah. So the interview will be in March, yeah. And if they call you for interview, what they want, am I not running out of time? If they call you for interview, you will get the opportunity to know your interviewers in advance. So they will send you the name, and you will be able to research them in advance to know what they are doing. Please and please, if you are invited for the interview, do your research, do your homework about your interviewers, because they will ask you something that you don't know, or is their own area of research. So you don't need to read all their papers. You don't need to read everything they are doing. You just want to have an idea that, okay, this person is working in material science, this person is working in cosmology, this person is working in computer science. Then you will just go online, okay, YouTube video. That was the best way I just did it. I just went to listen to maybe 3 videos about my interviewers where they were talking about their research. Maybe they've given a lecture, a seminar before. I was just listening to you so that I would just pick some few words. Even though I don't have the in-depth understanding of what they are saying, at least I will have an idea. And I won't be like completely lost whenever they ask me something along those lines. So what you will be asked in the interview, they will ask you about your proposal. They will ask you about why your proposal is different from the solutions that are already out there. Why is it novel? Why do you want to do it? And also they will ask you how your research will contribute to the society. They will also ask you how you've met the GATE criteria. So when you are talking about this, please and please talk about it in a very appealing manner. Like, you don't have to say everything, but you want to bring out the key points that will strike the right chord in the heart of the people that are listening to you. And also they will ask you, what are your plans after masters? Do you want to go back to your home country? Do you want to stay in the UK? I don't know the right answer to that question. You understand, but also they will ask you if you have any question for them. Okay. So if you have any question, it's best, I said you should do your research. If you've done your research, then you will know the right question to ask them. Maybe, I've read your paper and I saw that you were talking about this. Even though that's not my field, but I'm still interested in knowing how you did A and B. I could see that you are, I could see that you are talking about this particular problem. You can quickly Google it and say, okay, if there's this particular problem in this field, what are the possible solutions to it? You don't have to know it. You just want to sound like someone that knows it all to them. So you just want to be like, oh, okay, you have this problem. Have you thought about doing it this way? And the person might say, yeah, I've done it that way. It doesn't still work, or I'm still thinking about it. Or even that's what I want to try next. So that person will just be like, oh, you've done your research. You are even interested in what I'm doing. And some of these little things count. So I've noted here that it's a friendly chat with friendly people who want you to come to Cambridge. So don't be afraid when you are invited for any of the interview. They really want to help you. They don't want you to fail, and they will do everything in their capacity to make sure you feel comfortable during the interview. So please make sure that you know and you have it at the back of your mind that it's a friendly chat. And also master your opening sentence and your concluding sentences. And make sure those strike the right chord. It's very important. Don't just end your sentence like, yeah, that's it. No. You want to have a strong concluding sentence like, okay, and if you give me this opportunity, I know I will be able to make valuable change to my community. Simple. Than just leaving it blank and just being like, oh, I'm not really thinking about this question you've just asked me, and this is like the quickest answer I can give to you. No, you want to make sure you are concluding well and you are starting and you are answering your question. The first sentence you are saying really makes sense. It really captivates them. And your the last sentence you are making also strike the right chord to make sure that you are ending on the good notes. Let me use it like that. You are ending on the good note and you are starting on a very good note. Yeah, so I think those are some of the things that would really help you for. Sorry. Those are some of the things that will really help you. So yeah, if you have any question, I'm happy to answer.
Ini, I'm so grateful. I'm so when you were presenting, I was smiling, I was laughing, and I was so happy. I couldn't have gotten a better person to speak and guide the fellows, the prospective applicants than you. So thank you so much. And I heard you loud and clear. You kept saying, do your research, do your research.
Yeah.
Do your research. I don't know how many times you mentioned it. And I just want to invite my mentor to just ask some few questions, just to set the stage for other members to ask and interact with you. Dr. Dan, are you there?
Hi, Abel.
Do you want me to stop sharing?
Yes, you could share. Maybe if at all you have something you want to emphasize later on.
Okay. Should I stop sharing now, right? Okay.
Okay.
Well, I've stopped sharing.
Dr. Dan, yes.
Hello, Falabi. Thank you so much for those nice insights. Actually, I've learned a lot. In fact, this is one of the best webinars I've attended. I have a few questions that I'd like to ask you. What did you find most challenging in your PhD application and why?
Okay. Can I go now? Okay, so I think the most challenging part of my PhD application is I have to apply immediately when I started my master's. So I started my master's in October, and I have to submit my PhD application if I will be considered for funding in December 1st. So what does that mean for me? It really means that I'm coming into a new university that I know nothing about. I don't even, now when I got into my department, what I think I know, I now know that I don't know them. So it's more like starting to say, okay, yeah, I've now found myself here. How do I navigate my way in this university that I think I know something now, but it's looking like I don't know anything. So, and for PhD, you have to propose something that you'll be doing for 4 years, minimum 3 years. So like, man, I still don't know what I'm doing right now. And I need to project into the future to say, oh, this is what I want to do for the next 4 years. To be honest, that thing really, really affected me. Like, I was just like, but I'm so grateful for people that surround me because they are really supportive. And I met some people from my research group that were so kind enough to review my proposal. So to be honest, I started my application in November because I wanted to stay with the same supervisor who told me, I still don't know you. When I was talking about I want to do a PhD, it was like, you just started your master, you've not even done anything, I still don't know you. And I'm just like, guy, if I need to submit an application, you don't need to know me because the deadline is December. Yeah, so I think that was really challenging for me. That was the most challenging. So trying to project into the future when in the immediate you don't even have the clear picture of what you are doing. Yeah, so that was very challenging. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Fantastic. Another question. I checked your profile on Google Scholar.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that you have really published a number of papers, and you seem to have very good writing skills.
Yeah.
Could you please share with the members, how did you develop these writing skills that are excellent? Because I understand at the PhD level and also at master's level, writing is very, very important. So based on your publications, could you please share with us, how did you start developing these excellent writing skills? And yeah.
Okay, so so I think all the papers you saw on my profile are from my undergraduate research and from collaboration with people shortly after my undergraduate, right? So I just finished my master's. I'm still writing the paper from this one. So what really helped me while trying to about writing is because right from time I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I love research, and I was just fortunate to be surrounded with people that are well grounded in research. For instance, my husband is a researcher, and my undergraduate supervisor is a very, very prolific researcher. So I have those network around me that made me really, really know what academia is all about right from time. So I know that. So there is a slogan that we use in my undergraduate research group, that if you don't publish, you will perish. So if my supervisor just come to the lab, it will just like, do you want to perish? I'll say, oh, no, sir, I don't want to perish. So like those things really spur my heart to really want to learn the art. And I remember I volunteered with him after my undergraduate research. No pay, no money. I was just like, I want to know how to write. And it doesn't teach me. It will just say, okay, take these papers, go and read. Then you have to think about how you want to also write your own results. But yeah, I have my husband then when we are still together, before we got married. So I know he's into all of this thing. He also supported me to get my first going. So sometimes, yeah, because most he's into engineering and I'm into like physical sciences, right? So I will have to go home and say, oh, this is when we are talking. Our own chat is always about paper. So I'll just be like, this is my result. Or what do you think I can make out of it? And it will be like, oh, you can do it this way. You can do it this way. So let me say the mentors I have really helped me, and my own passion also to learn this thing. It means when my other friends are going to get money, I'm doing something that doesn't pay me, because that's just what I want to use my life to do. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, that's how I got into writing. And I like to collaborate with people. Yeah. So after my undergrad, I just met someone on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is such a powerful platform. The person just reached out to me, oh, Inioluwa, would you like to collaborate with me on a project? I'm like, what am I still using my life to do? Yes, so I'm very happy. Then we started working together, and he was asking me to do some things for him that he knows I know how to do. Then after then, I started writing them into paper. So, and those were because of the sacrifices I've paid by trying to volunteer without getting paid, even though this one too, I did not get paid. So yeah, those were my story. Yeah.
Wow. My last question, then I'll keep quiet. I mentor some people. I mentor professionals, and I advise them on how to find and win fully funded scholarships. And what I find is that most professionals fear applying to big universities like Cambridge, those big universities. They usually say, who am I? I'm just a small boy. I'm a small girl from the village. They have that self-disqualifying belief. That's what I term it. Could you please share with us some advice you would give to someone who is still doubting herself or himself in terms of applying to those big, prestigious universities? Thank you.
So I think, yeah, I love to share my story because I came from Nigeria, and it's not from a very, we are not even wealthy. So let me say, it's not a wealthy family, and I did not attend like the top university in Nigeria. But I think The truth is, if you know what you are cut out for, please pursue that. And don't let your background, don't let it limitate you. The truth is, if you read, one thing my husband used to tell me is, if you reject yourself, nobody will accept you. You have to first accept yourself before other people start to accept you. And the truth is, if you don't submit an application, you wouldn't know whether you can get in. So you need to first submit first and get rejected before you know that, okay, you are not meant for this place. You know, why did I have applied to Cambridge? To be honest, I wouldn't have applied to Cambridge. I would have also doubted myself. Even though I have all the profile, I have everything they are looking for, I would just be like, Cambridge, hey, no way. It's not for me. It's not for my family member, no. But what really made me, I think, is desperation and frustration. That was what pushed me to apply to Cambridge. Because I came to the UK in 2020, and I was trying to do, I was looking for a job and I couldn't get a job. And I'm just like, wait, is this how this thing will continue? I know I wanted to do research, right? But I still need money to pay bills to keep my life going. But nothing is forthcoming. And in the UK, it's very difficult to get funding for international students, especially for masters. There are not so many funding. So fortunately, someone just sent me like this Cambridge adverts that is paying all the tuition, everything for international students. And I'm like, that's the only hope I have. We have to try it. You understand? So for me, it's like desperation because I don't see any way forward. So just seeing that scholarship advert is like the ray of hope that just pushed me to trying Cambridge. I wouldn't know I can get in until I applied. So, and when I applied and they were like, oh, you are one of our best candidates, I was like, really? That was the way I was. You understand? Sometimes we underestimate what we have because we feel, who will care about what I know? You first care about it. You go and challenge them that, see, last, you go reject me and I will be happy, but I will still come. You understand? So please don't let us reject ourselves. I know it's very easy to do, but you've got something unique. That's the truth. You've got something unique. And the truth is, African has really made us. It has impacted so many virtues and qualities that we ourselves we underestimate. Then when you say it out to people here, they will be like, hey, really? You understand? So please and please, if I can get here, you also can try it too, my sister and my brother. So please and please try and apply. Yeah.
In I hear you. I didn't know you can speak like this.
Oh yeah, I'm always quiet when people see me. Don't mind me.
I used to think that you can't explain in details like this, but you've done it. So there's a question here, and thanks for responding to my mentor's inquiries. Grissom is saying, throughout the application, in all the essays, you are following a given theme of the problem you want to solve. And mostly, the statistics quoted are the same throughout most of the essays. Is there a problem of having these statistics or information, e.g. intellectual ability, experiences, leadership potential, repeated in different essays? Because it might be hard to get different examples, especially about yourself as an individual. The second question is that you talked about including some information in the GATE essay, for example, what the scholarship offers and what you will add to the scholarship community. Which part of the essay do you put this information, since the 4 sections of the essays are predefined? Finally, I thank the presenter because all my referees gave me a chance to write the references, and they reviewed them and submitted them. So the presentation has been eye-opening in drafting different documents. Okay, you take it on.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get what you mean by saying it's difficult to write different versions of essay for yourself. And to be honest, you
proceed.
Okay, so the application portal itself is so confusing and misleading. Because somewhere they will ask you, tell us about your research experience in the past and tell us about your motivation. You don't even know which one is asking for your research proposal, where they want you to talk about your strength and your skill sets. So what I did, the truth is you have to be creative about what you want to write about yourself. So what I did when I was trying to apply was to say, okay, they will say one is for course-specific questions. So that one where they say course-specific questions, I'm talking about my research experience. I'm talking about my skills, academic skill sets up to date. And I'm talking about what I want to do in Cambridge. So what I used to do in all those sessions is to say, I'm always ending by saying, okay, I have done this in the past, and I know coming to Cambridge will equip me for my future, for what I want to do as my career plan. And you giving me this opportunity will give me the opportunity to grow my skill set better and to even do more excellent research. So what you want to do is, it's difficult because even when you are trying to apply for different scholarship, I know they will ask you to write maybe like 100 words. So the logic to it is, what is so captivating about yourself? What is your selling point? Like the first person that asked me question was saying about my profile. My profile is my selling point. Like my Google Scholar record is my selling point, because it's very difficult for an undergraduate student to have published the number of papers I have and to have the citations I have. So if you read my documents, I am always nailing that see, I know what research is all about. So you just want to think about it creatively to say, okay, what is my selling points that I want to really communicate to these people? And you repeat it few times in all those sessions so that the person will really, really know what you're talking about. So I know it's difficult, but to be honest, you just want to try, and if they say it's research specific, please just answer about research and tell them how you are a good fit for that research. If they say it's about your motivation, please just write about your motivation there. But other sections that are not specific, please talk about your strengths. Just talk about your strengths in those sessions. Maybe any other, I don't know, maybe I answered the question because it's really difficult. But when you are talking about numbers, make sure the number is very, like, it tallies across board. For instance, if you are saying a number in your CV, you don't want it to be against the number you are writing in your essay. For instance, if you say you have like 4.56 as your CGPA, you don't want to say you have 4.50 in your essay. And your referee must not say you have 4.50 in your essay. Do you get what I mean? So everything must align perfectly. It must match each other well. So please and please don't over exaggerate. When you say you are mentoring 5 people in your CV, don't go and say 50 when you are writing GATE, because it will bounce back. So please and please be honest. So try and just repeat. The key thing is what should be repeated in all the essays. And yeah, I think that's the best way I can answer it. But if you are not still clear about it, I am very happy to answer. Okay. Is there any other thing?
Yes.
Yeah. So
okay.
The person was talking about the 4 predefined session, right? So the truth is, they don't ask you to. That's just what they are looking for. Okay. But if I want to give you money, that's the way I used to think about it. If someone wants to give you money, they want to see that you know them, you know what they are doing, and you don't want to just take the money. You want to also contribute to their business or to their life. So that's the way it is. So it's just 1 or 2 sentences that you will dedicate to that in your what's it called, in your statement. And it will also show that you are also like thinking ahead of what leadership skills. Don't forget that they said they are looking for leadership potential. If you're saying, oh, I want to join like the student council in the GATE community, it really means that you are already projecting into the leadership potential in the future. Even though you've not been given the scholarship, you are already thinking ahead, okay? And also, if you say, I know what the scholarship will offer me, it means you have done your research. So, and what you are coming to do in Cambridge is all about research. So please and please, like dedicating that to 2 lines. It's not only that, even like your concluding sentence, you want to say, okay, having said all of these things, I know that being part of Gates community, we equip me with the funding I need to do like a cutting edge research in Cambridge. And the Gates network will give me a venue to collaborate with brilliant minds in the community that are dedicated to improving the life of other people. And this funding opportunity also will help me to contribute well to the world at large. So it's not only just like dogmatically answering all these 4 questions, that it must just be all these 4 questions. So there are some things that might not be really stated that you still need to include in the statements, right? Like all of these things I've been talking about. So it's part of it, because they want to see that you really know what you're talking about and how you want to demonstrate leadership beyond Cambridge itself. Leadership beyond your present position and beyond Cambridge. Yeah, so I think if that answers the question, okay, then I think we still have another one. Is there any problem of the information being repeated in different applications since I am the same applicant? Yeah, so I think for MasterCard, you need to know that each of these scholarships, they have what they are looking for. For MasterCard, they are committed to sustainability, leadership in Africa, blah, blah, blah. I think that's their own goal. So the truth is, I know it can be, I know it's a pain, to be honest. I know it's a serious pain to go through this application process. But please, if you can, don't repeat the same information for the same scholarship, for different scholarship. Because what they are looking for is actually different. There will always be some overlap, right? So, for instance, your academic excellence, you will say the same thing for both scholarship because it's still the same view. But there are some questions that you need to tailor to those specific scholarship. You know, I told you about my first GATE application. That was what really made me not to get it, because I was just so lazy, because I was just like, let's repeat this thing. Let me repeat. And I was just copying and paste. It was MasterCard that saved my life. If not for MasterCard, I wouldn't get into Cambridge, right? Because I was not serious at that point of application. But yeah, now that I know that GATE is looking for something different, yeah, I know that if you are doing multiple applications, let me be clear. If you are doing multiple applications, you can repeat so many things, okay? About yourself, about your experiences and all that. But when it comes to specific questions about scholarship, try and answer it based on their criteria. So each scholarship has their own criteria, and try to answer those questions based on their criteria. But when it comes to your experience, all of these things, you want to also tailor those. For instance, if let's say you have worked in marketing company before, and also you have worked as a medical doctor before, and maybe a course that you want to apply for the 2 courses now. You want to apply for marketing and you want to apply for medicine. The truth is, your marketing experience is not needed in your medicine application, so you don't need to include it. If you get what I mean, it's still the same view, but you have different experiences. So it's just saying tailor your experience to the relevant application, your relevant skill set to the relevant application that you want to apply for. So I think that's the best way I'll try to answer that. I don't know if that answers your question, but if you're not clear, you can still like object and say, no, I'm not happy with what you say. Please ask me.
Yeah,
okay.
So Ini, this is great. And thank you so much. I have some 3 questions to ask you.
Yeah.
The first one, you talked about laziness, and you've just repeated it again, that laziness costed you. Laziness costed you. And of course, I'm aware you and me are supporting the MasterCard prospective applicants and all that. Could you just explain more and hint some advice as far as laziness is concerned?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Just expound more and give an advice as far as laziness is concerned to prospective applicants.
You mean laziness?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the truth is, lazy people don't get into Cambridge. Let me use that word. And if they get into Cambridge, before they leave, the laziness will live their life. Or those lazy people eventually drop out of Cambridge. What I'm trying to say is, you cannot be lazy in Cambridge. They will frustrate life out of you. So I think when I was applying, when I was applying for my master's, God, the guy that was reviewing my application, whenever I sent the best of best to him, it would just be like, this will not get you into Cambridge, not to talk of getting you funding. After that, at that point, I would be like, I don't want to share how I used to feel. It'd be like, say I should slap this guy. Do you know how many effort I've put into this thing? But I would just tell myself, like, okay, if this guy is giving me a valuable feedback, I think I should just work with it. The truth is, it was painful, because I don't want to go so personal, but I want you to know how painful it was for me. I just gave birth to my baby then. The baby was just like maybe 2 months, and I was still working. I was working as a call agent. I would be on a call talking with customer, and I would be using one hand to do my Cambridge application. So that was how difficult it was for me, right? It was really, really, really challenging. But the truth is, I was just tired of the position I was then. And I was just like, I want to proceed. I want to move forward. And anything it will cost me, I'm ready to give in. So the truth is, you can't be lazy because you want something good for your life, right? The truth is, you want this education, and the best of education you will get in Cambridge. You will get it elsewhere, but Cambridge is one of those places where you will get good education that you yourself, you will be proud of yourself. Oh, wow, I could make it to Cambridge. That joy alone, it's worth the sacrifice. That joy of being an inspiration to people around you, like, oh, Uncle this is in Cambridge. I also want to be like Uncle this. I also want to be like Auntie this. Is a joy on its own, but it will come at a price. And all of us, we have to pay that price, because we want to move forward. We want to do something great for Africa. And if you are lazy, if you are sleeping, there is no way we will do that, though. So we have to rise and just say, okay, if it is sleep, I will sleep later. Let's face this thing and let's do it well, right? And we all can do it, okay? So yeah, I think we won't be lazy.
Yeah, Ini, thank you so much. And that actually answers the 2 questions I also had. And so
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm so grateful. And if you have some parting shots, feel free to shout them out, and then we could close at this time.
Okay, so I'm happy to answer any question if anybody have any question. Okay, so I have a question for the applicants. Would you now consider applying to Cambridge and apply for GATE Cambridge scholarship? So that's my own question.
Members, just type in the chat to answer our guest's question, and she's eager to hear from you. Just type in the chat. With that guidance and with that, with her 1 hour and 30 minutes of preparing and coming to speak to us.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Okay. Cool. So please submit your application. Deadline is December 5th if you want to be considered for funding. So the truth is, don't reject yourself. Don't reject yourself. That's my final word. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
Ini,
you.
and we will keep in touch.
No worries.
Yeah.